Okay, for question number 23, we have to find the interval in which the function is strictly decreasing. And this is question number 23. Our function is f of x is equal to x raised power 4 minus 4
याद चलो
cubed
याद
step. Now let's find out the first order derivative. This is equal to 4x cubed minus 12x squared. F hat x is equal to, so we are going common is 4x squared, which gives us x minus 3. Now, for strictly decreasing, f dash x should be less than 0. And f dash x is 4x squared, x minus 3. This should be less than 0 now. 4x squared cannot be, this cannot be less than 0 because x squared is always positive. So 4x squared is positive. So that means this has to be negative. So x minus 3 is less than 0, which gives us x is less than 3. So our intervals are, if we consider the number line, this is 3, this is negative, but at 0, this function becomes 0. So we cannot, at 0, this function becomes, the value of this function becomes 0. Because if you put x is equal to 0, in this case, this becomes 0 because into 0 into something is 0. So f dash becomes 0. So that means x is equal to 0, that has to be excluded. So x, and now on the number line, we have our intervals. We cannot take 0. So 0 has to be excluded. And this is 3. So our intervals are coming from, so our interval should be negative infinity to 0. 0 is not included, then 0 to 3. And 3 is also not included. So the intervals in which the function is strictly decreasing is in negative infinity to 0. This is an open interval in which 0 is not included. So 0 is not included, then from 0 to 3, where 3 is also not included, because if you put x is equal to 3, this f dash x becomes 0. So this is the union of these two disjoint intervals. So these are the intervals in which this function is strictly decreasing. So minus infinity to 0 and then 0 to 3. So we cannot take 0 because at 0, the f dash becomes equal to 0. And we cannot take 3. So these are the disjoint intervals, negative infinity to 0, then 0 to 3 are the intervals in which the function is strictly decreasing.